യെച്ചൂരിയെ ഏറെ സ്നേഹത്തോടു കൂടി തന്നെ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യും. ഈ വിനിയോഗത്തിൽ അധ്യക്ഷത വഹിക്കുന്നു LDF-ന്റെ വടകര അസംബ്ലി മണ്ഡലം തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് കമ്മിറ്റിയുടെ ചെയർമാൻ അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ് ശ്രീ വിനോദനാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഈ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് റാലിയിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യും. അതുപോലെ ഇപ്പോൾ വന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രകടനം പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ട് ഈ സദസ്സിനുള്ളിലേക്ക് പന്തലിനുള്ളിലേക്ക് കടന്നു വരാൻ അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുക. ഇപ്പോൾ കടന്നു വരുന്ന പ്രകടനം പൂർണ്ണമായി തന്നെ ഈ പന്തലിനുള്ളിലേക്ക് കടന്നു വരണം എന്ന് അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കും.
We have to realize that this sort of guarantees that is being given, because one more guarantee Modi is given, is that Modi guarantee that India will become the third largest economy in the world when Modi wins again for the third term. I think India does not require Modi to be the Prime Minister to be the third largest economy. The way the statistical trends are today, India will grow 38% more GDP from 2013 when we reach 2027. France and Japan, which are the fourth and the fifth largest economies, they will grow only at 15%. Why? Because India has 140 billion crore people. And more the people, the more the hand, the more the contribution to the GDP. This is elementary economic knowledge. And therefore, this growth will take place irrespective of who is the Prime Minister. It can be anybody who is the Prime Minister. But India will cross Japan and France in 2027. That credit, Mr. Modi says, it's because of him. It is like saying that every day in the morning the sun rises because Mr. Modi permits the sun to rise. And with his permission, there is sunrise every day. So Modi has become the boss of the universe, saying that everything is happening only because he permits them or he dictates them. But at the same time, there are other dangers also. We've seen for secular democracy, for economic sovereignty, but then federalism. If they want to convert the secular democratic republic into a fascistic Hindutva order, what is required is not a federal structure, but a unitary structure where all power is concentrated in the hands of the center. And that is why all these slogans, one nation, one election, eventually what it means is one nation, one language, one nation, one culture, one nation, one leader. And that is the way in which they are moving, because they require that unitary state structure. That means destroy center-state relations. That is what is happening with Kerala. The way they have, in terms of finances, the way they have attacked Kerala and prevented it from actually exercising its constitutional right to borrow, to implement the policies it promised to its people. The Kerala government had to go to the court, and court had to provide relief. Likewise, Tamil Nadu government had to go to the court. West Bengal government had to go to the court. Again, the role of the governors who are actually wielding extra constitutional authorities. So all this destruction of center-state relations is part of this destruction of the secular democratic Republic of India, because they want a unitary state structure. This has to be stopped. That is why we have to tell them that India is a land of diversities. India is a land where there are different religions, different languages, different customs, different traditions. And each one of us have our own pride in our own distinct identity. And every one of us sitting here, when we go abroad, we say we are Indian. When we come back to India, I say I am a Telugu speaking Andhra. You will say, I'm a Malayalam speaking Keralite. We'll have our differences. When I go to Andhra, I say I come from coastal Andhra. When I go to coastal Andhra, I say I come from the Delta region in the coastal Andhra. So every single one of them is my identity. Apart from my caste, apart from my religion, so each one of these identities has to be respected. And only then India can survive and India can thrive. But what the BJP and the RSS want is to uniformize this entire diversity by saying one country, one culture, one language. And that is why the slogan of Hindu, Hindi, Hindutva. And that is the danger where they want to destroy the diversity in our country, which means the imploding of India. This destruction we have to stop. If we have to stop that, we have to stop the Modi government from returning to hold the office in 2024 in these elections. That is why we should actually advise the Prime Minister that he should change his script writer. Because 2 days ago he came to Kerala and he said there's been no development in Kerala. And the Prime Minister, your own Niti Aayog has brought out a report of the comparative performance of all the states in India. And what does it show? Kerala is number 1 position in all human development indices. All. And it is the last position in terms of incidence of poverty. This is your own statistics. Your Gujarat goes way behind Kerala. Your Uttar Pradesh is the lowest on all the indicators of your own Niti Aayog. So you change your script writer or whoever writes your speeches, because at least as a Prime Minister you are not expected to say the untruth. But that is the specialized campaign that he conducts of misinformation. And that has to be answered. Because the third largest economy in India, what is the truth that they don't convey? India's per capita GDP is 142 out of 180 countries. India has got the lowest per capita GDP of all the G20 countries. India has the lowest per capita GDP of all the BRICS countries. India has got the lowest human development indicators index of all the G20 countries. And today, just now, few hours ago, the Wiedem Institute of Scandinavia, which gives the index of democracy, has downgraded India further. Till last year they said India is not a democracy, but it's an electoral autocracy. Today they have defined India as one of the worst autocratizers in the world. Today. The democracy index of your economist intelligence unit has put India two big numbers below from what it says of a distorted democracy, what it called in 2021. The whole world is now recognizing the sort of democracy that Mr. Modi is presiding over. If this has to change, the reality has to be understood, and that is why it is imperative that we make all the efforts which the CPIM has made to unite all secular democratic forces in the country to ensure that in order to save India today, we require to defeat this Modi government in the coming election.
ഇത്രയും നല്ല വെളിച്ചെണ്ണ ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വിപണിയിൽ ലഭിക്കുകയില്ല.
മയൂരം വെളിച്ചെണ്ണ ഒരു ഏറെമല സർവീസ് സഹകരണ ബാങ്ക് സംരംഭം.
And in this background, I find it strange when I come to Kerala that the Congress party, instead of targeting Modi and the BJP and raising all these issues that I have raised just now, which are also being raised by the India bloc of parties all over the country. But in Kerala, their target is the CPM and the LDF and not the BJP. And this is very strange. They say that what is the relevance of the left? We should ask the Congress party. Who was the first one who went and challenged the promulgation of the CAA and said it is unconstitutional as a political party that went to the Supreme Court? it was the CPIM. Which is the first political party that went to the CPIM to say that the abrogation of Article 370 and the dissolution of the state of Jammu and Kashmir was unconstitutional? It was the CPIM. And in fact, I was permitted by the Supreme Court to be the first national leader to cross the Iron Curtain in Srinagar and go and meet the comrades who have been detained there. And this came with the permission of the Supreme Court because we fought for that and we got it. Who was the first one of the political parties to move against the discharge of the gang rapists of Bilkis Banu and the mass murders that happened during the Gujarat carnage? It was the CPI. And as a result, what happened? The Supreme Court overturned that decision and those gang rapists are now back in jail. Who was the one who challenged the electoral bonds and took that position? The electoral bonds are the legalization of political corruption, therefore we will not accept them, but we will challenge the validity and say that they are unconstitutional. It was the CPI. And the Supreme Court upheld our position. And it told the CPIM that you are the only party we are permitting to join in this case because you are the only party that has the locus standi. You are the only party that opposed the electoral bonds and refused to accept electoral bonds. Therefore, you have the credibility and the locus standi to approach us. And the result was they have been declared unconstitutional. Why was the Congress absent on all these things? If they are such a champion of secularism and democracy, etc., why have they not moved on these items? They must first answer before putting their accusing finger against the LDF. So this is the question you must ask them. Where were you when all these things were happening and why as the Congress party have you not come out? If the CAA is implemented tomorrow, not one word from the Congress party has come. Like we have said, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has said, Kerala will not implement the CAA in Kerala, and that is something that the Kerala government has declared. But why can't the Congress government say the same thing? That is the question you've got to ask them. You cannot fight such fascistic authoritarianism in a piecemeal fashion. In what suits me and what doesn't suit me. You have to fight it frontally like the CPM is doing, and that is the way to fight it, and that is the way we will defeat Modi and save India today. That is why today, we must ask them also, where were you against communalism? When they were trying to utilize, even today, Mr. Modi is trying to utilize the entire question of the Ram temple construction, and today being Ram Navami, he is using this occasion to say all those who did not go to the Ram temple thing are anti-Rama, etc., and rousing religious passions. When all this is happening, the CPIM was the first party to take the position that we respect the religious beliefs of every individual in our country. He or she has that right. You can choose whichever faith you want. That faith, your choice will be respected. You will be protected. And nobody else has the right to interfere on your choice. It could be Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian, atheist like me, anything. But once it's a personal choice taken, that will be respected. But mixing religion with government, mixing religion with politics, and using the Ram temple consecration for political purposes is something that is against the constitution, against the principles of secularism, and therefore the CPIM regrets that it will not join the Ram temple consecration because this is against the principles of secularism, Indian constitution and the Supreme Court verdicts. We took that position. Congress has not taken that position. Till date it has not taken that position. You cannot combat Hindutva with pale Hindutva, with soft Hindutva. While we respect the religious beliefs of every single individual and will protect it, but you cannot compromise your politics on the basis of that, which is what the Congress does, and that only feeds the Hindutva forces, and that only strengthens Mr. Modi and their type of politics. So this is what you got to ask the Congress. Instead of fighting the communal forces frontally, your compromising position, your soft attitude towards Hindutva is actually leading to further strengthening the very forces of Hindutva. And that is why if you are to be, you have also to be defeated if you want the fight against Hindutva to be strengthened. And that is in Kerala. That is why that situation has come to this pass. While in the whole of the country we cooperate. We are cooperating. We are part of that India bloc. And everybody knows our contribution there. But at the same time, here, if your main target is the LDF and CPIM and not the BJP, then we will have to answer you back and keep you out of holding the authority of the government so that we can fight Hindutva and Modi in a much better manner and a much firmer manner.
എന്റെ വിവാഹം എനിക്കൊപ്പം ഫാമിലി കണ്ട സ്വപ്നം. എന്റെ ഇഷ്ടങ്ങൾ എന്റെ ഫാമിലിക്ക് അറിയാം. ഫാമിലി വെഡിംഗ് സെന്റർ.
That is why when they say that the Congress is better equipped to fight communalism, got to tell them only, please introspect. My appeal to the Congress and UDF leaders. How many Congress leaders have left the Congress party and joined the BJP? Is there any list that the Congress has? How many have joined? Whatever be the reason, can you expect anybody from the left, anybody from the CPIM to actually leave our ideology and our party and this red flag and join the BJP? Why you need the left today is actually to strengthen and pull all the other secular forces in the right direction. It's only the left that has the moral authority. It is only the left that has the authority and the strength. Political strength in terms of its conviction that can actually draw them into on the correct line to fight the communal forces. That is why today, when we say that electing the Congress will help in defeating the Modi government and allowing an alternate government, but by the time that alternate government formation comes, how many of the congressmen would have left and joined the BJP? From the Chief Minister of Assam today, who is a former congressman, from the the leader of the opposition of the Congress in the Rajya Sabha, former, everybody of them has left and joined the BJP today. So the question is that you must remember, if there's consistency in the fighting against this guarantee that the left gives or the CPIM gives is not like Modi guarantee or anybody else's guarantee. This is the guarantee soaked with the blood of the martyrs of this red flag, and this guarantee is that we will save India today from being destroyed by these communal forces, and for that we will rally and mobilize all secular democratic forces in our country. And that is why finally a stronger left is required, because that is the guarantee for pressurizing and putting the pressure on an alternative secular government in the center to adopt pro-people policies. Remember UPA 1, it was because of the left that you have the rural employment guarantee. Now we need an urban employment guarantee. If that has to come, the left pressure is very important. You had the right to information. You had the right to food security. You had the right to education. You had right to the tribals, to the forest lands. All these rights and many other rights were brought about because of the strength of the left and the pressure of the left on the then Congress-led Manmohan Singh government. That is why stronger the left, greater the pro-people policies that will improve your and our livelihoods. To improve our livelihoods, to pursue such policies, a strong left presence is absolutely essential. And that is why my appeal to all of you is that remember 2004, yes, we knew any alternate secular government can only come under Congress leadership. But even then, the people of Kerala gave the LDF how many? 18 out of the 20 MPs. They gave 18 out of the 20 MPs, and because of that 18 out of the 20 MPs, That pressure in the parliament is what finally saw the rural employment guarantee and all these rights I was speaking about materialize. And it is that you have to finally show once again. People of Kerala have always shown the people of India the direction whenever there was a new political situation that emerged right from 1957 onwards. Now the time has come for you to once again stand up and show the direction that we have to save the secular democratic Republic of India. We have to save the livelihood of our people, and we have to protect our country from turning into an authoritarian fascistic dictatorship. And if that has to be done, the BJP has to be defeated and the left has to be strengthened. And that direction, I hope the people of Kerala will show, and I'm confident that you will once again rise to the occasion and show the way to Indian people in the current political situation. With that confidence, I will take leave of you, thanking Comrade Nitish for the translation.
സാധ്യതയുള്ളത് തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നതാണ് ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയുടെ വിജയം നിർണ്ണയിക്കുന്നത്. സറ്റോരി ആ കാര്യത്തിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വഴികാട്ടിയാവും.
Satori, Educational Training and Consultancy, near Head Post Office, Edodi, Vadagara. Airline and Airport Management,
Shipping, Logistics and Supply Chain Management,
Fire and Safety Management,
Optical Fiber Technology,
Lift Technology,
100% Placement Guaranteed Program,
International Certifications,
Satori, Education, Training, Consultancy near Head Post Office, Edodi, Vadagara.